Hi, welcome to ADHD Friendly. I am Patty. I am an ADHD coach, and I'm here to help you thrive with ADHD. For more support, join my ADHD Friendly membership. Check it out at ADHDfriendly.com because at ADHD Friendly is where ADDers get more things done. So this week, I am celebrating a 25 and 25 win. I'm going to update my spending and share a tip how to make the summer of 2025 unforgettable.
Ooh.
Unforgettable. Obviously, I cannot sing. And my product of the week is a self-made thing because it has to do with my spending. And our main topic is we're halfway there. We're halfway through 2025, if you can believe that.
Crazy.
And so we're going to check and see if your 2025 is on track with where you wanted to be and help you adjust.
Yeah.
Maybe a midway adjustment. And then, of course, I'll update my book of the week. So let's start with my celebration. As always, I have a 25 and 25 celebration, and Becca and I were just talking a little bit about reading books. She was reading some books on a trip, and I have a goal this year. It's more than 25 books in 2025 because I did that, I think 23 and 23. I wanted to read 23 books. And so I made my goal to read 52 again for this year, basically a book a week.
Yeah.
And I am very much on track. I finished my 39th book, and that was by June 12th. Because remember, I'm 2 weeks ahead. So I feel really good. I'll read 13 more books before the end of the year. So I'm on my 40th book right now. And I'm tracking it on I've got my 2020, my 25 and 25 list. I'm on my second one. So the first one goes to 25, second one goes to 50. And then I've got a third one that I can't wait to break into that will even let me go beyond 52 because I do think I'm going to exceed that. If all goes to plan, I will exceed that. I'm reading some really good books. I'm reading some books. But the nice thing is because I'm ahead, I've not been sharing every single book review. If it's not like most part like a 4-star or above, I'm like, why am I going to waste your time if it's not like, unless it's something that everybody's reading, I'm like, okay, do you want to? Because there's a book I'm going to share, not this week, but in a future week, that because I'm a little ahead. So it's like, and it also makes it hard for me to share because I'm like, what was it on about again? But it's very, very popular and I didn't love it. So, sometimes it's like there's always those little outliers. So sometimes the most popular books, and the same thing, my kids are always like, oh, watch this, it has this and this on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, but that's because it's the kind of people that like that kind of movie that are reviewing it. That's not my kind of movie. Yeah. So I'm like, that isn't a review I would probably give it. Okay. So what I purchased this week, my weekly accountability for what I've spent. Nothing. What? Still doing my spending free June. As I record this, is today the 18th? It's a Wednesday, 2 weeks before this comes out. So my hope is to continue. I think it's just at 2 more weeks to go on this plan. It is actually getting easier now instead of it being harder, which is nice. I'm still not putting myself like in stores and in positions. Like I'm not looking at what estate sales are coming up or what yard sales are going on, or there's a book sale this weekend at my local library. And that is typically a really hard thing for me, but I'm like, I have so many books, so I really need more books right now that I have like enough to read.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might even adjust my plan in July to make it like cash only July or something, so that I can spend, but only like with cash.
What you have,
so I'm still like kind of practicing the not using credit cards for things that aren't like business related or essentials.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm still playing with it. Okay, so that leads me to the product of the week, and the product of the week is something that I've made and is available for sale in the ADHD Friendly shop, and that's an ICNUP menu, ICNUP. And it looks like this guy. So this is the blank tool. This is the example of it. And it comes with a 1-page description of what it is, how you can use it, and how the example was created to give you a little bit of sparkle to get you into it, and some tips on making it yours. I wanted to share, I took the example. I always say like, this is, fabulous. It's a list of, so if you haven't heard my other descriptions in my previous podcasts on ICNUP, it's Dr. Dotson's approach to getting our brains engaged. And so each letter of the ICNUP stands for something that will get your brain activated. So the I is interest, the C is challenge, the N is novel, U is urgency, and P is for passion, which we can sometimes use, but not always. And so in my menu, I have a list of tasks on the left-hand side, and then across different things under each of those categories that work to get me into activities that I typically resist because they're boring and I'm not having an easy time getting started. And so what I did is, this is an example of mine. Well, I don't like to read a bunch of words. It's very boring for my brain. So I turned it into little icons that I printed and put in my personal owner's manual, my palm. So I could easily look and remember, like, oh, if I listen to something, if I time myself and race the clock, like I can see when I'm emptying the dishwasher what the things are that allow me to do it more easily, because a picture is easier for my brain to process than words. So that's one of the examples I share, is how to make it yours. So ICNUP is a tool that can help you to get started. And that's often more than half the battle for us. We will think about doing many, many, many things, but we really struggle with the implementation. So if that is something that describes you, this is available for $4.50 in the ADHD-Friendly.com shop. It's also available for members of ADHD Friendly for free, along with an entire ADHD Friendly toolbox. So access what works for you. All right. There's also a tool I wanted to share in this episode. I'm afraid I'm going to get my reading list lost in my podcast papers. So my tool is actually, because we're reaching the end of June as this comes out, and July kicks off the summer semester of the ADHD Friendly course, ADHD-U. And that is a hybrid year-long course, 4 semesters. The entire winter and summer semesters are complete and in there on demand, accessible for all of those materials. And we're kicking off the summer semester, which will cover July, August, and September. And our focus for that semester is on managing time and tasks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So it's all about learning time management strategies, the structure to implement those strategies, not just thinking about them, but doing them. We're going to learn how to time block, how to task batch, how to estimate time, and how to make decisions more easily. We'll break large projects into action steps. And there's lots of workshops, events, and power hour body double sessions designed to get you into action. So it's not just learning these things and what they can do and how you can use them, but actually implementing them. So end the summer semester with a clear plan that works for your brain, because you've created one based on the information shared, but the prompts to help you make it yours. The membership is $95 a month, or $950 for the entire year, because at ADHD Friendly, ADDers get more done. Check it out if you're looking to get more things completed and checked off your list in your life. All right. Our topic for today is, we're halfway there. Is your 2025 still on track? So in the beginning of this year, we talked about vision boards. We talked about making a 25 and 25 list. We talked about words of the year. Lots of themes to help keep some structure around your intentions. So I am going to update all 3. So I'm going to say my vision board. No. I'm using it. I hang my book list on there. So I go over and I do write books on it. That's still pulling me in, but that's pretty much the only thing I'm looking at on the vision board. It's just kind of a catch-all that I have not gone back and updated. It's not, most of the other things are not relevant to me right now. So I've put a prompt on my weekly calendar for a Friday review, just to go look at it and see, is there anything you'd move, something that you'd add, change? Yep. So I did that just to remind me it exists and what it's there for.
Bringing it back around.
And then my 25 and 25 list, I have a business and a personal one. So I'm going to update really quickly. And what I really want to support you to do is to notice if there's something that you want to get done that's not on your list. Take a bite, just take a beat and write it down. Or if there's something on your list that isn't serving you, what would it give you to let it go? To say, you know what, maybe not this year, maybe not ever. or
Oh,
whatever it
yeah.
is. So of my 25 things on my personal list, I've done 5.
All right.
So
You're getting there.
that doesn't sound great. I mean, it's progress, but what I want to acknowledge is there's 5 more on my list that are all year goals. So I can't check
Ooh.
them off, but they are all making progress.
You will at the end of it.
Yes, yes. So they're like, going outside for 25 minutes every day, reading 52 books, doing my yoga Monday through
yoga.
Thursday. Like I'm doing these
Yeah.
things, but I can't check them off until the end of the
Right.
year. I've gotten like half of my dentist goal done. I had my teeth cleaned last week. No cavities. Oh
There
my
you
gosh.
go.
And they were like, I take like this all very seriously now because I'm very intentional about
Yeah.
my teeth.
Your
And
hygiene.
it's been a long practice. I don't
Yeah.
think I flossed until I was 40. Actually, I know I didn't. And now it's like I can't stand the feel of food between my
Without-
teeth,
yeah,
which I wasn't even aware of when I was younger.
Totally.
And so when they went in, they were like, your gums are amazing. I'm like,
Thank you.
thank you.
Going
My.
so much.
So I was like, okay, that's like a real win. And I know because I have had a lot of dental work, I'm gonna have the need to have things replaced and things, but I'll take any visit where I get you're good for 6 more months as a huge win.
Yeah.
What I haven't done yet, I haven't gotten my new glasses.
That's okay. That takes time.
Yes,
You know.
but my prescription,
How old? Yeah. Do you need it updated?
you know what, that might create some urgency now that you say that. Make a note, Becca.
Yeah.
Send me a note to remind me that I need to look at the date. It's in my purse. It's always with me, but it
make
just
an
feels like a
appointment.
decision. I know
Yeah,
I
'cause
need
you're
to.
going to Costco, right?
Yeah, so there's no appointment. I've
Yeah.
already got my eyes examined,
yeah.
but I'm like, maybe it's not going to. I
Be
think
the
is that
same?
an every year or every 2 years?
I do
prescription? I do every year, but I'm
Yeah.
like, will I have to go again before? Like I might. I don't remember when I went. It might be at that point. I'll have to look. I think it was last summer, but I'll look. I'm not done decluttering, clearly. I have made a whole plan for finishing. I'm still in my office because I put everything in like one spot and it's so overwhelming. It's very tidy in the sense that everything's there.
Just right there.
But oh my gosh, if it's not overwhelming to me. So I have made a plan for that for the summer semester. My winter goal has bled into spring and is going to continue into summer because it has become insurmountable. So I had to break it down, and I'm gonna share the structure to do that with the summer semester course. Yeah.
That's a lot. So yeah, you have.
Well, and it's gonna grow because I still have to do your office.
Oh yeah.
And I can't even sit in there anymore because there's so much stuff on my side. Every time Becca gets here, I'm like, we're gonna start in here. We're gonna start because there's nowhere for me to sit because I have so much stuff on my side.
Yeah. Just my side's okay.
Yeah, your side's perfect. Like it's like so stupidly tidy. I'm just like, whatever. Near it.
True.
And I haven't visited yet. I'm trying to visit my best friend and my brother this year.
That's fun.
Yeah, but I need to, and my brother's, I have like a loose plan. My best friend, she might come here and that would count.
Totally.
So loose, but nothing's on the calendar
Mhm.
yet. So I have to still like follow through with that. And I did remove one thing, which was switching cell phone provider. It's just not something I have a lot of energy or interest in right now. I just can't tolerate the potential tech
It's a lot of steps.
challenge.
Yeah.
You just did it, right?
I switched from my parents' plan to the fiance's, and it took hours.
Yeah, I'm like, and you don't, it's like, why is this still so difficult? Yeah. So, and I have multiple people on my plan. So
yeah, it's a lot of moving parts
but I might add to my list my dream of getting a landline. I might connect my bad boy phone and just
so satisfying.
Oh my gosh. I just want to get my phone away from me and just be like, hey, if you text and I'm not answering, call the line. It will actually be like a voice line.
Totally.
Like internet phone, but still.
Fun.
I am still really, my husband's like completely against it, but I'm kind of like, you know what? This is, I think, for my mental health to have the ability to, and to make it like, I'm going to call someone I may not be connected to this guy. I don't think he'll be able to do the internet phone, but we'll see. And then for my business goals, I have made a lot of progress. Not many things are checked off because again, a lot of them are year-long goals.
Yeah.
So for the ADHD hybrid annual course, I have completely finished the winter and the spring, and I've planned
This summer.
the first month of the summer, the July. So I'm still working on August, September, because I'm going through it as we're going through it for the course for the year as I'm rolling it out. That won't be done until the end of the year. I'm working on marketing. I'm promoting my Palm book, which I really haven't done except for just talking about it here and sending it out with my newsletter. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm intentionally working on promoting that. And I've removed 2 things from my list. So one was the expectation to exhibit at the conference.
Yes.
It just isn't where I feel like I'm gonna get the biggest bang for my buck, if you will.
Yes.
And I also am offering the live Palm course off because I'm creating the deluxe planner and the course and all of these other things. And you know, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to take that off because it is recorded. It is an on-demand course inside my membership. So I might be able to offer as an a la carte purchase standalone at some point, but I'm not going to try to offer it live this summer. And then for my word of the year, so my final update, my word of the year is dare. It's still sparkly.
Yes.
I have a lot of people ask me about my Snoopy charm, which is
So
Snoopy
cute.
as the red baron flying, or as the World War I flying ace. And it does support me to dare to say yes to more things. So I dare to say no to the conference. I dare to say no to things that aren't serving me. And a lot of times that's the easy path. And for me, like the easy path was the conference. And I was like, you know, that is just not going to give me what I'm looking for.
Right.
It's just the path I know. And so I was like, no, I need to do what I need to do and not just default to the thing that is the easiest thing to tap into. So I'm definitely still tapping into my word dare. Woo. So with that being said, that's my update. I would love to hear how your 25 is going. Are you using the 25 and 25 list? Are you connecting to your word of the year? Are you stuck in maybe, you know, the heat of the summer doldrums, which I can be for me. So I'm trying to like be mindful about like, okay, I can't let the heat stop me. Maybe just identifying what one thing could you implement now that would give you the biggest shift by the end of 2025. Just one thing. We can't do everything, but we can do one thing. All right. That's that. Finally, the book of the week. Excuse me. It is The Wedding People. Have you read this?
No, it's on my list to read. Oh. Did you like it?
I did. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
This came out last summer.
Yeah.
So it was a Read with Jenna book. I tend to like a lot of her recommendations. So it's about a suicidal woman who checks into a hotel and runs into a bride that has booked the entire resort for the weekend. And somehow there was one room available and they mistakenly booked it for this woman whose intention is to commit suicide during this thing. And she like meets the bride in the elevator and the bride's like, oh, like, how do I know you? You don't. Well, are you on the husband's side? On the, on the groom side? I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I'm not with the wedding. She's like, well, you have to be with the wedding. And so it goes through the bride's emotions, and it's really humorous because the bride is furious that she's like going to ruin her wedding. Like, well, can't you wait until after? Do you have to do it this weekend? Like, maybe you can go do it somewhere else. Like, not at all worried about the woman.
Terrible.
So I found the character development in this story. It reminded me of the book Anxious People and a man called Uwe. You get to know a lot of characters through this because of the wedding people that she interacts with. And I really enjoyed interacting with them. So I found it a fun, quick, and unexpectedly good read. I did enjoy it. All right. And finally, a quote to wrap up this episode. This is from my most quoted person, James Clear. And he says, books are the nearest things to a time machine humans have ever made.
Oh,
I love that. I think that's why I love reading historical fiction. Because right now I'm reading this book called The Pretender. I'm sure I'll have a review. Right now I'm feeling that's going to probably be a 4 out of 5 at least. I'm only like 30% in, so maybe not. But it's the historical fiction about a kid who was hidden away at the time of Henry VIII coming up
Ooh.
to the throne, but like all of like the turmoil with King Richard before him, and now there's like a Henry VII that just took the throne, and he's like in line now, and like the current king keeps killing all of these people that would be
Next
a
in
threat to
line.
him, and this little
Sure.
boy has been hidden away and doesn't know anything about who he is or where he came from, doesn't know that his family isn't his family. And so it's historically true. Of course, the fiction is all like the dialogue and what's going on in his head, but it's I love that kind of thing. It's really interesting. So
Pulls you in the story, yeah.
oh, I'm totally attached to him,
Yeah.
and I don't want to know. Pretty sure he probably gets killed, but I don't want to
Right.
know because he like he's so sensitive.
Like an underdog story.
He's like 10-minute starts, and he gets like really emotional about certain things, and like the two princes
Yes.
had just been like kidnapped and taken to the tower, and he's like so like emotional just like knowing about this, and he has no idea that he has like a link to the
them.
succession that could end up with him being in the same place. And I know about the two princes, and you know, did the whole like Tower of London tour and stuff, and but I don't know about him. Like this sounds familiar, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'm loving this bit of historical fiction. So I love that idea that it's reading is like a little time capsule. You can go backwards.
Yeah.
You can go into sci-fi and go
Into the
forward, time
future.
travel. Yeah, there's all these different places that you can visit. And it's why I had my summer winter reading list, because I don't like the heat, but a book about snow and being cold and all of that can transport me to that place and let me feel a coolness that I don't feel in real life. So
especially right now.
that's where that comes in handy when the temperatures are rising here. All right, that's it for this episode. I hope to see you again next week or sooner, or maybe I will have a chance to interact with you inside ADHD Friendly. Check it out, ADHDfriendly.com. Until next time, tally ho.